I'm so happy to be here. So I am Jacqueline Silverman, my business Aging Advisory Services, and it's been wonderful getting to know the team at this firm and seeing the incredible organization behind Living Wisely, and again being part of it. So I have a bunch to say. I'm going to do the best I can with our time today to hopefully give you the chance to think about yourselves when it comes to this aging journey. I am sure there's a lot of experience in this room of taking care of parents, of grandparents, of seeing what friends are going through. So in that, we can always learn, and sometimes we need to really focus on ourselves and what's going to be best for us. On the bag that you got today, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. That's really the best theme we could start this day off with. What we want to avoid is what I hear all too often, starting with my mom. I'll know when it's time to make changes. I'll know. And the truth is, you won't. It's not going to be until there's significant health changes or a medical emergency and all of a sudden changes are forced on us. And that's when your needs can start to really overcome your wishes, outweigh your wishes. And you become more limited in the options you have. So what we want to do when it comes to living wisely is indeed plan, make changes, the way we've done with so many other phases of our lives, the way your financial planners are asking you to do. But when it comes to living safely and wisely at home, it involves home modifications. It involves building your support system now of people you like and people you trust who are going to be there for you. And most importantly, it's feeling confident in the choices you're making about where you're living in the right place at the right time. So aging in place is my theme. And it's something we're doing every day when we wake up, thank goodness. But it's also essentially a buzz term these days. And what it means is living safely and comfortably in the home or the residence of your choice. And the key is with the ability to carry out your wishes wherever you call home. That autonomy, that independence that you're seeking. So we know that almost half of you want to stay in your forever homes right now. The rest of us are debating. The national polls say that 90% of people over the age of 65 initially say, oh, I'm staying at home. 45% of those people studied, can do it easily. Less than 10% have prepared or have a plan. So I'm staying home, but I have no plan for how I'm going to do that. And even less have the kind of features you need in a home as your needs start changing. So to age in place takes a little bit more than just the grab bars and throw rugs that you've been taking care of. Once you have the right mindset for this, the mindset for change is really thinking of aging in place as your mission. It's an action plan. It's something you do to create the environment that's going to support you as your needs, your community, and your lifestyle change. And we know that everything changes. So you're going to go from this thing of I'm never leaving, or you'll have to take me out of your feet first, to really thinking about what am I going to do so I am living life on my own terms as I age in place in my home. The people who do it best do three things. So if we start with the idea of making a plan, planning starts with questions. And one of the big questions is, how does where you live fit into your plans? So you think about what's going to matter most to you now and as time goes by. So the lifestyle, the activities you do, the people who are important to you. Is it the old memories or the new memories you're going to be making? So how does where you live fit into those sort of questions? Who's going to be there to help you as your needs change? If the go-to is your kids, do they know that? Maybe they're sandwich generation, they're still working, they still have kids they're taking care of, they live far away. So having those honest conversations with your spouses, with your kids, or with anybody in your circles that you think you are going to depend on those conversations are better off happening sooner than later. Another thing to think about is if you're living alone, and some of you may be right now. A third of people polled over the age of 50 in the United States, a third are going to be solo agers because they don't have kids, or they're estranged from their kids, or they just know they don't have family they can count on. And 60% of people over the age of 80 are living alone, and most of them are women. So there's a whole lot of challenges and things to think about and work towards in that scenario. But let's talk about changes, starting to make changes. You want to do it, right, when you have the most runway of time, when you've got the best energy, the best health. That's kind of right now. And you don't have to do everything all at once, because this stuff can absolutely seem overwhelming. But just gradually, especially based on the priorities from your plan that you've made. Reaching out for help, we are so great at asking if we can help other people fix their problems, offer our time, but we have this reluctance to ask for help ourselves. And it's key, again, to bring loved ones and professionals, leaning on professionals like your financial advisors, the senior advisors, Julie and myself, who you're getting to know, property managers, home care providers, bringing people into your lives that can help you. There's a paradox that I believe. The more you ask for help, the more independent you will be. So before we get into your home itself, there's some bigger picture things about your life that really need to be considered, especially if you're aging at home. We call these the pillars, or just key considerations. And I'm only going to touch on a few things. The first being the idea that loneliness and isolation at home, it's like the enemy for aging in place. So with COVID, we all learned a lot about what that looks like. And the Surgeon General actually came out saying that isolation is an epidemic. There are reports now that loneliness can be as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So a lot of clinical studies. And I've talked to a few people this morning who have said, gee, you know, my parent, my relative, they're home with a caregiver a few days a week and never get to talk about anything going on in the world. So it's really essential to think about creating your environment, your lifestyle, as you're moving forward, where you're going to have genuine social connections and stimulation. That might be the hardest challenge of all. When it comes to health and well-being, you can manage your costs of care in the future by trying to stay as healthy today as possible. 20%, they say, 20 to 30% of our longevity is based on genetics, which seems much lower to me than I expected. 70% of our healthy aging is based on our behavior, what we do, our diet, staying hydrated, sleeping, eating well, exercising, all the things we know. But when you hear 70% of my health, I can promote my longevity, I can lower risks for age-related illnesses, it's worth taking some agency in that regard. Regardless of statistics, our capacity for independence is changing as we're getting older. We all know it, we've seen it happen. In the health field, they talk about independence, especially for older adults, in terms of 8 tasks. The activities of daily living. Does that ring a bell? Your ADLs, activities of daily living. So that's on your own, being able to eat, bathe, groom, dress, toilet, transfer from a bed or a chair to standing, walking. Basic things. If you have long-term care insurance, it doesn't kick in until you can't do 2 or 3 of those things, generally. You have to look at your policy. But there's also the instrumental activities of daily living, IADLs. And these, to me, deal more with our quality of life. It's what we do. Things like being able to manage and organize and take our medications properly so we're healthy. Being able to manage your finances, go on errands, drive your own car, use transportation like Uber. Those are the things you're really looking at and seeing change as time goes on and saying, gee, where can I get some help and support so I can manage? And in your housing, your home can be your greatest health risk. We'll look more into that. But in terms of older homes, again, they're often not designed for our needs. So you might be in a split level home, sunken living rooms, things like that. That can make life difficult. Deferred maintenance. If things are building up, you're at the risk of hazards and accidents. Or if you're still climbing ladders to put light bulbs in the ceiling or clean out your drains for leaves, those are all accident risks. So what we want to do to have a healthy home is start to work towards making some home modifications, some changes now. Think also about getting a home inspection if you haven't had one in about 5 years or so. And even consider a property manager. I just want to touch on this because it's sometimes silent and in our lives, where people are having their own memory changes or living with someone, and it's a concern. It's changing your life. So if you are in a situation where memory lapse, where did I put my keys? That's kind of normal for aging. If the keys are in the refrigerator, there's a problem. So just 2 points I want to make. One is, if that's on your radar at all, take action early. Just go ahead and consult your doctor about it. Ask, insist for a cognitive screening. They're fairly easy, but what happens is you get a baseline established. You know where you are now, and if intervention really is needed, you can start making plans, and that might look like the kind of home modifications. There are a lot of things we do in a home when folks have dementia that are specific to it, or medications or care. The other thing is, if you're a caregiver, you want to also seek help early, not wait. Julie and I just worked with a client. The family waited for 2 years with their dad with dementia, and by the time they reached out to us, there was not much more we can do to help the situation, and he ended up in skilled nursing and kind of missed out on a couple of years that could have been easier for the whole family. Now you want to think about your own homes. Maybe if you're helping someone else, what kind of projects should we really be making? A place to start, this is a little bit of a plug, but a place to start is to have a home safety assessment with a professional senior advisor. I'm happy to tell you about my process anytime, but in general, I think when you're working with the right people, we're meeting you where you're at, whether it's an urgent situation or you have some time to plan. What is it you say, Julie? One size fits one. That's how we work with folks. We're also a neutral party coming into the picture for you. So we're not carrying the emotional baggage. We don't necessarily push those hot buttons. And I kind of think of us as the magic sauce, where we can sometimes help manage family dynamics and even get spouses who are not seeing eye to eye to start to break down those obstacles. One wants to stay, one wants to go, one wants to put grab bars in, the other doesn't, whatever it is. So we're there to enhance your unit, your family unit. We're also constantly updating resources. The senior industry is booming because the senior population is booming. Every day we're keeping up on what are new resources, services, products, new places to live. The market is changing. New people like myself moving into the business. So we can likely make referrals and warm introductions for you that are an easier fit and things that maybe you haven't thought of yourselves. So digging into your home and major projects that might need to be undertaken, we look at these in the category of what's called universal design, if you've heard of it. A lot of contractors, tradespeople, designers today will say, we are universal design specialists, we're aging in place design specialists. And essentially what it means is that you're creating an environment, spaces, products, that can be used by any age and any ability. So everything is accessible or barrier-free. So an example in public space is when you see a sidewalk that ramps down into the street. That's universal design, because someone in a wheelchair can use it, a parent pushing a stroller can use it, somebody going to work on their bicycle can use it. It's for everybody. In your own home, universal design, you start to look at your house as barrier-free, not just for yourselves, but for your visitors, family, your friends, other relatives that are coming over that also need a barrier-free environment. A lot of these projects, people ask, gee, if I make this change, is it going to decrease the value of my property? The National Association of Home Builders is saying that more buyers in their 30s are asking for properties with universal design. So the potential to enhance your marketability and the value of your home increases with some of these projects. And the projects listed, I think, the most common being one-level living. That means you have a bedroom, a kitchen, and a full bath on the main floor for yourselves or for someone else that needs it. And you've got a zero-step entrance into the house. Right, those are your two keys. Big question is, when do we start this? I don't need it right now. And one thing to consider is we don't have a crystal ball, but we know that costs are only going to go up, and chances are your energy, abilities, desire to do these projects is going to go down. It's one factor. You need to allow time for both form and function. I have a friend who's making some changes, and she said grab bars and remodeling her bathroom, and said, I want to do it while it's still fun and I can call it design, as opposed to you got to get grab bars in there. So it's the way you look at it. And having that runway of time too, for contractors who have waiting lists of 6 months to a year, to be able to pick out the fixtures you want, the products, the design. So time is on your side. Your home can be the greatest risk to your health because that's where most falls happen. 80% of falls happen in your house, and 70% of falls happen in the bathroom. The bathroom becomes a good place to focus. And in this picture, I'm just going to give you a quick tour. You see the toilet paper holder on the side. That's a grab bar. Grab bars is your number one. If you don't have grab bars, sign up to start getting them put in right away, not only in your own bathroom, but consider your guest bathrooms. Today they come in all sorts of different features, toilet paper holders, towel bar holders. You can get them in colors to match your tile. There's all sorts of features. The one feature you want to say no to is suction cup grab bars. Yep. If you're saying yep, you learn the hard way. I got the phone call from my aunt. You were right. I also want to recommend that you work with somebody professional who installs grab bars, not necessarily your everyday handyman that's happy to do it for you. And that's because they want to work with you to see how you use your bathroom, get in and out of the tub, what your needs are. Should they be horizontal? What angle? What length? So a professional is going to be able to really tailor that for you. And generally in terms of costs, you're paying for labor and the bars. We work with San Diego grab bars often, and they just have a flat fee. So it's easy and really important to do. You see the shower, that's called a roll-in zero threshold shower. So if you have a bathtub that you want to convert into a shower, a walk-in shower, you could do a custom remodel, and as I'm sure many of you homeowners know, you're looking at costs of $20,000 plus. And have all the features you want. There are also options for prefabricated showers that you see advertised, often advertised at like, for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, figure $5,000 to $10,000 once you start to put your features in. But these can be installed in 1 or 2 days, and they offer you low thresholds or zero. And the purpose is you want to be able to get in that shower with a nice 36-inch or wider opening. So if you have side-by-side, somebody helping someone in the shower or a wheelchair, you've got accessibility. If you love your baths, there are prefabricated bathtubs that are walk-in bathtubs. You can get a cut-out bathtub. You can put a safety pole in. You can have a bathtub transfer chair. So there are simple fixes, but the key is to just really feel safe and stable and secure in that bathroom, because that's where most falls happen. What you also see here quickly is hard to see, but the shower head is a wand, but it's on a slide. And that's great because you can slide it down, lock it in, slip a little chair under there, and be able to shower hands-free. So it's a really important feature. And you do see a fold-down shower seat and hopefully a non-slip floor. What you don't see, and I want to point out, is especially in a smaller bathroom, is to consider changing the door so it opens out, not in. Because often, again, if there's a fall at the sink, wherever, and somebody falls in front of that door, which happens, it's happened in my family, you can't open it and get in to help them. So that simple change of moving a door out, they have swing-away hinges that help the door open more widely. These are just solutions and tips. Even consider starting to expand a smaller bathroom into an adjacent space, so it's a more accessible space when needed. Steps and stairs is the second place, no surprise, where most falls happen at home. And it's slipping, it's tripping. It's also, they tend to be the darkest place for some reason in the house. So simply get some toggle light switches on the top and bottom of the stairs and put some little light strips in, or install or stick on some puck, they're called puck lights, these little like spotlights on your stairs. But light up your stairs. For tripping, it's back to taking care of deferred maintenance, making sure your surfaces are smooth. Have 2 railings, not just for yourselves, but for those people visiting you. And where most falls happen is we go flying off the bottom step or tripping up the top step, because our minds are somewhere else at that point, right? We've done the stairs, we're now off to somewhere else. So one thing to consider is what we say contrast, right? Give a visual cue. Make sure that the landings above and at the top and bottom of the stairs don't look the same as the steps. So a different material, a rug to wood, some paint, using some treads on the stairs. Just think about what you might do to make it more visual. Having a railing extend out beyond the stairs another way. If there's 1 step or 2 steps in your house, between rooms or in the back patio, consider a visual cue of a rail. Just installing a lovely rail that matches the design of your home. Not that people have to use it, but it's going to say, especially to visitors who don't know your house that well, oh, there's a stair there, and help the acrobatics of people flying over stairs. Slipping and tripping, the big thing is being mindful, right? Count your stairs, look at the stairs, don't wear socks on the stairs. Low pile carpet is is less dangerous than thick carpet. And there's plenty of non-slip tape, non-slip treads on the market that you can use to make your stairs safe. When one-level living isn't an option, or you really want to keep going upstairs or downstairs to your bedroom, this is where ramps and lifts come in. And it's where you can think about your house as an assisted living environment. So the things you can do to change your house, as well as the home care help you can bring in to create that environment that you would maybe get in assisted living, but now you're home. So these are solutions if you're having difficulty getting upstairs, if there's a wheelchair, walker, or even visual impairment involved. And permanent ramps like the wood ramp, you're looking at cost of maybe $10,000 and up, depending on the materials and the length, how many turns there are in it. The aluminum is a modular, so that can be temporary. I have somebody coming home after a stroke, and they're going to need a temporary ramp until they're fully recovered. Costs are in the hundreds to the thousands of dollars. You can even rent them. So it's a really good solution. Just a tip, if you're going to go home and look at the steps going into your house, is this 1 to 12 ratio. So let's say you had 4 steps going up to the door and you were considering a ramp. If the rise of each stair is 5 inches, so that's 4 steps, 20 inches, you would need 20 feet of ramp length, whether that would be straight or turns, etc. But it just gives you a ballpark of the kind of space you need. And the little ones are threshold ramps that, again, are very inexpensive to buy and even rent as a solution. The other mobility is, of course, an elevator. Today, you're looking at about 30,000 or more to install an elevator. There are models now, the Stilts model, you can plug it into a 220 regular household outlet. They're quiet, they don't need supporting walls. They're a terrific solution. Chair lifts are a much easier and cost-effective solution to carry your stuff up the stairs and help yourself up the stairs. And the track length, the number of turns, all influences the budget. Vertical wheelchair platform lifts are terrific in garages, outdoors, even indoors. And what's really neat about this is if someone is in a wheelchair, they can be fully independent to get in and out and where they're going. So it's another option. Sorry to bring up technology, but sometimes it scares people. But I think of technology as automating your home to make things easier. So smart tech, you hear about, smart technology. Those are the things that you can use to operate in your home with your cell phone, your iPad, your tablet, Apple tablet, or even the voice command speakers like that third picture there. So you can control your thermostats, your garage door, security cameras, even stoves and ovens. And because you're on apps on your mobile devices, you can have a caregiver or someone anywhere in the world monitoring and helping control as well. So they're really good solutions. One thing you need is strong internet, Wi-Fi connection. So if you don't have that in your house, look into getting Wi-Fi extenders, which are so easy to install. You can go to Best Buy's. Eero, E-E-R-O is another product. And all of this stuff is available at local stores and Amazon. Small fixes, these are, and I'm going to run through this really quickly. The small fixes, and you have them on your slide, are a lot of the common sense projects. You don't have to invest a lot of money, but you can start them today. So getting that stronger lighting in your house and making sure it's easy to use. Decluttering is a way to de-stress. There are professional organizers that can help get you started, just like trainers do at the gym. By making repairs, you also have a way to reduce stress and make some changes in your life. Being ruthless about carpets that potentially can trip you or somebody else up. Keeping things within reach. Adapting to tools. Be confident about these devices rather than embarrassed, right? We've gotten over wearing glasses, we've gotten over wearing face masks, canes, walkers, hearing aids. They're critical they're our companions at this stage in life to be a healthy person. So go back to how does where you live fit into your plans? There's lots you can think about. The shortcut is DNA. Do it, start planning, changing, not all at once, and ask for help so your needs don't outweigh your wishes.